Welcome back to the channel, gents. Good one. Bright and early this morning. Sun's not even really out. It's a rainy day, so you might have some rain interference, but let's do it anyway. Right. So today's topic is three prominent nice guy behaviors. My three prominent nice guy behaviors, should I say? But most nice guys will have these two. So the first one is, let's just jump in. So the first one is people pleasing at your own expense. And what does that mean? That means you put others' needs ahead of your own, right? So this pattern often stems from a belief that your worth comes from serving others and avoiding disapproval. The second one is setting and maintaining boundaries. So I'm really bad at that. So while I can initially set up boundaries, I struggle to enforce them. And what this and if you're struggling with setting and maintaining boundaries or enforcing, what this maybe is it's a fear of the consequences for standing firm. So it's like your conflict, your disappointment, rejection from others. Right? It's a fear of that. And then my third one, which I think is all nice guys have this one. They can't come without this one. Is covert contracts and unexpressed expectations. So like I have unspoken expectations for reciprocity, um, like especially with my wife. You know, when I do something nice, I expect something in return without actually explaining that or communicating it to her, communicating these expectations. And some additional things that I have that aren't as prominent as the others. So you hide your true feelings to avoid problems, right? Which is conflict avoided. I avoid conflict. And this can lead to like a disconnect between your authentic self and the person you are today, or you present to others, should I say. I the way I handle conflict is I alternate between withdrawal and which is basically shutting down, and like your passive aggressive emotional reaction, sarcasm, explosiveness, stuff like that. And I have, well, I'm working on it. So I have an anxiety about relationship stability. In other words, I am constantly checking if my wife is upset, if everything's okay. Um, I'm still working on that one a lot. So finding where the root causes of these ones are. But yeah, the root causes come from childhood. So let's dive into the first one. We have people pleasing at your own expense. So this, as I said, this develops either in your early like childhood as a survival mechanism, right? So you may have learned that keeping others happy was safer or earned you approval and validation, right? And over time, this becomes automatic. You prioritize others' needs even unconsciously, without even realizing you're neglecting your own needs, right? This happens unconsciously. You don't know that you're doing it now in your adult life or whatever. So how some strategies on how to start becoming aware and working on these, right? So practice self-awareness. Before saying yes to requests, pause and ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Or am I agreeing out of a habit or fear? Right? Obviously start small. Start small. We're not gonna jump to massive things right away. So start practicing saying no to low stakes, like low requests, things that won't really do anything. Before tackling more challenging ones, challenging situations. You don't want to have put yourself in a burnout situation. And develop a personal values framework. So like basically, what does it mean? Clarify what truly matters to you, which makes it easier to prioritize your genuine needs, right? So what really matters to you. For example, I no longer like to drink. I will do it sometimes with some friends, or on a rare occasion. But 99.9% of the time, I don't like drinking. So that's one of the things that matter to me. So I've clarified that, and now I start doing that. So when someone offers me a drink, I say no, I'm good, thanks. I don't drink. I'm done. Right? And then another one you can do is reframe self-care. Recognize that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. I don't know why this is such a massive issue. I have it. We all have it, but like taking care of yourself isn't selfish. I don't know why everyone sees it as so bad. It's necessary for sustainable relationships and avoiding resentment. Take care of yourself first, then take care of everyone else. Once you are sorted, you are much more capable and have the ability to look after everyone else. It's I don't know. We don't have this. You don't learn it the easy way, should I say? Use the "I'll get back to you" technique. That is also a pretty cool technique. So like when someone asks you something, you say, "Oh, I need to check my calendar, sorry, or my schedule." Um, think about it. Give yourself time to decide thoughtfully, and then you can respond how you want to. You're not pressured on the spot to give an answer, right? Then the second one, difficulty setting and maintaining boundaries. Let's dive into this deeper, right? So many nice guys can intellectually understand boundaries, right? We understand it, we can set it, we understand all of that, right? But the real struggle or the real problem of it, or the hardship of it, is emotionally enforcing it. We enforcing the boundaries. Why? Because you have the fear of disapproval, you have the conflict, or you have abandonment, issues, or fears that often override the boundary maintenance or maintaining that boundary, right? And this creates a pattern where others learn your boundaries aren't firm, leading to what would you call continued boundary violations. Let's put it that way. So because you don't stick to it, people automatically will think, "Oh, he doesn't really mean it. I can't just pass this boundary." Um, so how do we have some strategies? How do we start dealing with this? Identify your boundary weak spots. So notice which relationships or situations trigger your boundary collapse. For example, um, arguing with your wife, but then the boundary is that, okay, you don't talk to me this way. Don't talk, like I don't want you to talk to me this way. This is a boundary. Great, you've said it. Now it happens again, and you start arguing. But instead of sticking to your boundary and standing firm and saying like, no, I don't accept the way that you're talking to me, what do? You fold. You fold. Why? In that situation, why would you fold? Oh, because I'm scared of the fear of abandonment. She's gonna leave me, or she's not gonna love me anymore, or something like that, right? So you gotta identify these in each of your different kinds of boundaries that you have set. And then another one is practice the broken record um, technique, right? So the broken record technique. What is a broken record technique? It's calmly restate your boundary without jade. Jade is justifying, arguing, defending, or explaining. Let me say it again. Calmly restate your boundary without justifying, arguing, defending, or explaining, which is jade, right? Then another one is to rehearse your boundary statements. Practice the phrases like, I am not comfortable with that. That doesn't work for me. You know, practice them until they start feeling natural. As I said, start small, practice them until they start feeling natural. Accept discomfort. This is a massive one, and it goes on to that avoiding conflict episode that I did. To recognize others' disapproval, disappointment. Sorry about that. Disappointment or frustration is a normal and survivable when you set boundaries, right? In other words, so in other words, like when you set a boundary, people are going to be disappointed, are not going to approve of it, right? Because it goes against what they want to do. But accept that discomfort because it's not their boundary, it's your boundary. They can either go by the boundary, adjust to their boundary, or not. Whatever happens thereafter is their problem. You stick with your boundary. Accept the discomfort. They're gonna be frustrated. They're gonna be disappointed. Just accept it, right? Then the next one is create accountability. Now this one, I'm kind of on the fence on, depending who you share it with. Like I wouldn't say share it on social media too much, but share your boundary or your goals with a trust. Okay, well, I have marked down with a trusted friend, but not everyone has trusted friends. Let's put it that way. I have very, very, very few trusted friends that I could share this with. So, share your boundary or your goals with a trusted friend and who can check in on your progress. Right? He can be your accountability partner. He's willing to help you on this journey without criticizing, without calling you names or whatever, right? And start rewarding yourself. There's another one. Celebrate the small wins. So when you maintain a boundary, celebrate it, dude. Like, be excited. Yeah, I said I stuck to it, and reward yourself for it. Pat yourself on the back. Yeah, right. That's that one. So let's jump to number three. Number three is, this might be a little bit long, guys. Sorry. So number three is covert contract. Oh no, sorry. Why did I say sorry? I don't know, but I'm not sorry. Fuck it, I'm not sorry. Covert contracts and unexpressed expectations. Just go into it deeper, right? So this pattern involves doing things with unspoken expectation of reciprocity. Don't ask me what's going on today. It's too early in the morning. Well, it's not too early in the morning, but it's really early in the morning. My tongue is not warmed up. So what does that mean? So it means when others don't fulfill these unstated expectation, resentment builds. All right. So I did the dishes. You can now give me a massage or say thank you to me, or make me something. I recognize my good deed. Give me some kind of recognition. And when that doesn't happen, you get upset, and you start resenting the person. So resentment builds up. And what is the core issue? The core issue is indirect communication, right? Hoping others will intuitively know what you want rather than clearly expressing your needs and desires, right? So how can we deal with this? Make contracts overt. What the hell does that mean? That means before doing something for someone, especially your wife, like above all else, especially your wife, that is the whole point, especially your wife. Not the whole point, but a massive point of the nice guy problem. Clarify your expectations, right? So like, I'll clean the kitchen tonight. Would you be willing to take care of the living room? Because if you clean one of the rooms and you expect her to clean another room as contribution, make it known. If you think about it in your head, she's not gonna do it, and then you're not gonna enjoy it, right? I'm struggling with this one very, very often, should I say. I keep forgetting to not keep forgetting, but I don't make my contracts overt all the time. And the nice thing is I'm aware of it now, so afterwards I can deal with it. I was like, oh, but I didn't clearly state what I wanted. So the next one, practice direct requests. Ask what you want clearly instead of hinting for or hoping others will notice, right? Just the efforts, and then try to give it back to you. So instead of saying hinting at it, it's like, do you want to do this? Or just say, no, I want to do this. Are you on board? Or you're not? Boom, direct. Practice it. And then another thing you can do is examine your motivations. Excuse me. So when doing something nice, ask yourself, am I doing this freely? Or am I doing it to get something in return? Like, do I care if something happens in return? Or am I doing this just because I want to do it? Am I doing it freely? I don't care whether they come along, give me something back, but like I'm just enjoying myself, right? Examine those motivations. It'll tell you a lot. And then give genuinely, or don't give it all. Like, seriously, don't give it all. Choose. She might be upset with you when you don't do these things, but rather practice this, rather do this. Give genuinely, or not at all. So like, choose either to give without the expectations, or communicate your desire up front. It's like, okay, if I get this, I want this. Either do that or give genuinely. I think give genuinely is better. Right, welcome back. Sorry, so there was a bit of interruption. The computer decided it's gonna stop recording at the moment. So let me get back onto this. So we were on the next one, which was address accumulated resentment. Right, so what does that mean? That means, let's just adjust this here. So what does that mean? That means if you've been harboring the frustration from past unmet expectations, you need to find a constructive way to discuss these feelings, to bring these feelings up to the surface, right? So, like, I really, I've always expected you to do this for me. Like, I'm always doing the dishes. I expect, please, can you just do the living room? Like, I've always expected you to just clean the living room. Can you do it? Like, be direct, and start dealing with it. Start bringing that resentment out into the open, airing it out, basically. And then you will start to feel like you'll start getting rid of it. It's a little bit of a 30-day action plan that I've been doing, right, to deal with these nice guys' behaviors, right? This is kind of a fast approach. I'm trying to get these done quite quick, like not quite quick, but I want to start handling it right. The more I deal with it, the better it's gonna be. So, like, at week 1 is the awareness and foundation days, right? So that's like spend 10 minutes journaling about the instances where you people please, failed to maintain the boundary, or created a Covert contract. Then, like, obviously practice the pausing before responding to a request. Set one small achievable boundary each day. It doesn't matter, something minor, whatever, some kind of boundary every day, right? So what does this do? This creates a value inventory, right? So this clarifies what truly matters to you, and it identifies specific boundary triggers with your wife and others, and it brings out your most common Covert contracts. So like, when I do X, I expect Y, right? It starts bringing awareness to this. Then week 2 is basic implementation, right? So before doing something nice, ask yourself, This is the daily practice. So, am I doing this freely or with expectations? Practice saying, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you, instead of immediately saying yes, immediate yes. Use the I statements to express your needs directly once daily, right? You make me feel da 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 is the normal response, right? Is the nice guy response is to push it on to the next person. Change that. Use the I statement. So, I feel X when you do Y. Or, no, I feel X when Y happens. Like, no, don't put anything, don't put a blame onto the other person. Take full responsibility onto your feelings onto your own, because that is what it is. And what it does is it has, the key activities from this day is you're having honest conversations with your wife about the effort to change the patterns, or these patterns, in a sense. No, you don't overly tell her about these things, but tell her like you're working on these. And then practice the broken record technique. So, when maintaining boundaries, practice it. And then change one covert contract into an actual request, a direct request. It's not a covert contract. Change it into, each day. Make it just one request. Then week 3 will be the challenging situations, right? And what is this? The daily practice of this is like deliberately say no. Sorry, my back is killing me. Say no to one request that you would normally agree to, and you would normally agree to out of obligation. So say no to that. Just say no. So because you feel obligated to say yes to these things, just say no. For once, just say no. Daily practice, no. And then when feeling resentful, identify the unexpressed expectations behind it. So week 3, you're gonna, when you start feeling resentful, express your unexpressed expectation behind it, and practice staying present during mild disagreements instead of shutting down. So that's one that I am doing, right? So I have to, instead of shutting down, staying present, being present on the thing, not running away. And what this does is it role plays difficult boundaries and scenarios, or key activities. In other words, things you can do. So you can role play the boundaries, the setting the difficult boundaries scenario with a trusted friend. You can role play that in a sense if you want, or you can create a boundary script. For most challenging situations, like something you can kind of memorize or just know what you're going to say beforehand. For these boundaries that are challenging. Intentionally do one nice thing daily with 0 expectations. You have no expectation of it, you do it and you forget it, in a sense. Like there's nothing comes back. Then the week 4 is integration and refinement. So check in with your authentic feelings before making decisions. This is your daily practice. Practice maintaining calm during boundary enforcement. Make direct requests instead of hints or passive approaches, right? And what are the key activities for this? So you review your journal to identify patterns and progress. Then have a follow-up conversation with your wife about your changing patterns. Like maybe just check in, like how do you feel about this kind of thing? I don't know, just check in. I don't know too much about that one. It is in there because your wife is a human being. She has her own feelings, her own things, so you can't just completely ignore her, let's put it that way. So so do have follow-up conversations, but just be careful you're not relying your patterns on her for her approval, let's put it that way. You know what, you're not looking for her approval, but you are looking for the feedback of like, is it going better or worse, like, right? And then create a sustainable plan for continuing your progress beyond the 30 days. As in, keep coming back, or not coming back, but keep reinforcing these things beyond the 30 days. Like, don't just do the 30-day challenge and then boom, you're done. No. And what this is gonna, the success about this and how you're gonna see you're being successful is you're gonna have a decrease in anxiety about others' approval, which I have got a lot less anxiety about that. I'm a lot more outspoken. I don't have as much resentment as I used to have. So you're going to have a reduced resentment towards others. Increased comfort with direct communication. You are going to have this, right? It's going to be a lot easier to state your opinion. You're not going to be completely healed completely in 30 days. No, it's not. But you're going to have an increased comfort with direct communication. You're going to be more authentic with your connection with others. You're going to tell them more what you actually feel or what you actually think. And this gives you a better ability to identify and express your true needs. So this makes significant progress in breaking these patterns in the 30 days. But the key is consistency and self-compassion. Don't beat yourself up when you don't get something right. That is, and when you slip into old behaviors, how do you talk to yourself? Talk to yourself nicely. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend in need, right? And each time you catch yourself, it's fine. It's just an opportunity to practice a new response. So you found yourself did this. Okay, great. Now I made a new Covert contract. Damn. Okay, I go back and I just make it out and honest, right? So that's it for this one. A little bit of a hiccup, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you found it helpful. And comment down below what are your massive traits, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.